Take everything you know and write it on your skin. Then you can carry on and forget everything. Take everything you own and put it in your car. You can drive away so far. Then drive into a lake and take off all your clothes. Set your clothes on fire. Now you were alone, but you've got all you know written on your skin. So you can carry on and forget everything. All the things I'd rather be. All the things I'd rather be. I can't stay around here. I can only be. Take everything you know and write it on your skin. Then you can carry on and forget everything. Take everything you own and put it in your car. You can drive away so far. Then drive into a lake and take off all your clothes. Set your clothes on fire. Now you were alone, but you've got all you know written on your skin. So you can carry on and forget everything. Oh, all the things I'd rather be. All the things I'd rather be. I can't stay around here. I can only be. I can't stay around here. I can only be. Life feels like a music box. I'm spinning round slowly and I can't get off. And life feels like a music box. I'm spinning round slowly and I can't get off. Life feels like a music box. I'm spinning round slowly and I can't get off. And life feels like a music box. I'm spinning round slowly and I can't get off. I can't stay around here. I can only be. I can't stay around here. I can only be. I can't stay around here.
Two. 1, 2, 3. I wanna hate you, 'cause I still love you, and it's weighing on my chest. We keep our bodies tied together to ignore what's coming next. I was driving you home in the middle of the night, but I couldn't bring myself to say goodbye. I was driving you home in the middle of the night, and there's no good way, yeah, there's no good way. I'm chasing fire when I'm running after you. You got that something that I never.
Test. Hello. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're here. Thanks for coming to the Mental Health Week Come Together Music and Food Festival program. We've got a great show lined up for you. The Mental Health Week Committee has been working really hard, so we're glad that you're here to participate in this with us and celebrate this with us. My name is Cree Taylor. I'm a lecturer in the English department. I teach your gen ed English classes, and I'm also the Black Student Union faculty advisor.
And my name is Mikey Henderson. I'm a junior studying international business and Chinese over in the business school as well as the humanities school. And like Cree said, we're excited to be here. We're going to run through a couple of the events that are going to be going on throughout the week, just so you're aware of them, because our Mental Health Week Committee has done an incredible job putting this together. So Starting with tomorrow, you maybe have come to a couple of events that happened today, but tomorrow, from 2 to 3, we're having the Navigating the World as a Person of Color event. From that point, at 3 until 4 p.m., we're going to do Queerness and Spirituality panel. And then 4 to 5, we have the It's Real panel. And then 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the TSC ballroom is the drag show.
I've heard great things about the drag show.
I know, I've heard it's incredible.
I've heard really good things. Most of those events on Wednesday are on Zoom and broadcast to the lounges. So if you're like, I don't want to go, or I can't physically be there, you can click into it and watch it wherever you're at. On Wednesday, March 16th, we also have a great lineup of events for you. I say we like I did this. The Mental Health Council, the Mental Health Week Committee put all this together. But on Wednesday, from 1:30 to 2:30, they have a broadcast on mindful and intuitive eating, and that's the same, Zoom and broadcast to the lounges. From 2:30 to 4:30, they have a Stitch and Bitch Tiny Cross Stitch. Oh, that's fun to say.
A little bit of a tongue twister.
That's up here in the TSC. Then after that, well, not after that, but kind of during that, it intersects a little bit. From 4 to 5 p.m., there's a USU Helps talk happening in the TSC lounges. There's potluck and games from 5 to 7 in the TSC. And then the last thing for Wednesday is the Sex, Intimacy, and Mental Well-Being live stream from 7:30 to 9 p.m. in the TSC. So there's just a ton of stuff. And that's only the 2 days after today. This is awesome.
Before we get started, let's give a round of applause for the Mental Health Week Committee. They've done a fantastic
clap for them.
job.
We'll introduce you to them later, but holy cow. All right, so you are in for a treat, I'm sure. Our first performer, wait, I have like 6 pockets. Let me get my clicker out here so you can see who our first performer is. On. I usually don't use these in my class, these clickers. Nope. There he is. Our first performer is Wade Evans. Wade Evans is a multi-instrumentalist who has traveled the world in search of the sound. Among the numerous instruments on which he performs are the Turkish, I should have asked for pronunciations on these, the Turkish oud learned while wandering the Middle East as a minstrel. What a story. And the Indian sitar, which was taught him by master sitarist P.T. Shivnath Mishra, under whom he studied and continues to study in Varanasi, India since 2003. And Wade has had all this life experience while still being a Cache Valley native. So let's give Wade a big round of applause to come up here and perform for us.
Wade, thank you. We really appreciate it. Let's give another round of applause for Wade. Thank you. Yeah, we can get that unplugged. Can we have somebody up here unplug this? There we go. Yeah, you guys can start coming up as we get ready for the next part. Note to the rest of the speakers, exit to the right, my right. But that was beautiful. I think what we learned here is that no geographical distance can keep you from exploring the beautiful cultures of the world. So thank you very much. As we go into our next act, our next performance, it'll be Good Color. Good Color is a Utah-based band whose influences range from shoegaze to new wave to slowcore. Goldilocks, their debut single, explores dynamics of human relationships and seeks comfort in liminality. So let's give it up for Good Color as they come up. Thanks.
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Only just a moment to set up. Continue your conversations as you were. We'll be here in just a moment. This'll work, this'll work.
I could just play acoustic. What do you need? Yeah, charge it. Did it die? Yeah, this should do the trick.
this the future, or is this the past? If where we started's where we've ended up at last. And now I'm standing by, am I standing by? And now I'm asking why, how could have I stood by? Is this dispassion? Has the feeling passed? If only this was clear, would all be saved at last. And I'm a passerby, has it passed me by? It's a quarter of my life, don't let it pass me by. I'm a passerby, I'm a passerby. And I'm a passerby, don't let it pass me by. Good evening, everyone. We are Good Color. I'm Spencer. This here on my left, your right, is one of my best friends, Alec, and on my right, your left, is my other best friend, Miles. I'm Spencer. We're missing Nicole. We're missing one of our bandmates. And fun fact, we've never played that song before in front of people. We just finished recording our debut album, which will be coming out next month, so this kind of caught us off guard. We weren't ready to perform yet, but we got the opportunity, and we're here, so thank you for having us. So yeah, that was Passage, an original song of ours, and we'll be sharing two more with you tonight. Yeah, any cell phone usage is encouraged. If you want to capture us and hold us in your pocket, you're more than welcome to take videos or whatever you'd like. And I also wasn't sure what to expect, because at events like this, I never know if I'm just going to be someone's imaginary friend, giving them encouraging messages of music while they have their side conversations, or if they're going to be watching me. And you're all watching me. And Alec and Miles. But in any case, super glad you're here. We're glad to be here. We're Good Color. We're going to play two more songs for you. This next one is our single that we released in the fall. So this is called Goldilocks. You can stream this anywhere. Oh, yeah. While Miles retunes quick. Also tag us on stuff. We're at Good Color Band on social media, and you can find us anywhere just with Good Color, those two words together. We should look something like that. Ready? Come on.
these hours I've been spent in the dark, writing slowly. So few nights with so much dreaming about you, so many days with so few memories of you. To the end, from the start, the in-between is where we are. Turn back the time to find out what you mean, to turn back the time to find out what I mean to you. These feelings have been kept in my heart, beating slowly. Every sunset burns right past behind me. Every sunrise is hope right before me. To the end, from the start, the in-between is where we are. Turn back the time to find out what you mean, to turn back the time to find out what I mean to you. Turn back the pages to the very start, the creases and edges of my paper heart. Your paper mache, those empty walls, the pencil sketch figure of your graceful curves. Somewhere inside my mind I will follow them home.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do we have time for one more? One more quick one? Okay, we'll do one more speedy one. One more quick one. Thanks so much. It's really a special feeling when there's so many individuals in the same space, completely focused on just one piece of live art performance. Can we hear it up for Wade Evans? That was beautiful. I could listen to that all day. And then us right here, you just listening, that means the world, so thank you. Feel free to come chat with us after. It would be so fun to meet any of you.
Two by ear.
Oh. Yeah, but yeah, it's super fun to be here. This is a cause we really care about, mental health, both care and awareness. So thank you for being here to support it as well.
Sorry.
Some minor technical issues.
Got it? Oh, not yet, but it's close. No, not even.
Yeah, so this last song of ours that we're going to play is called Hellebore. And this is a song about hope, about its fleeting nature, about its two-sided nature, how inevitably we're going to hope, but the hope is that we do it in a way where we can still be as present as possible. So this is Hellebore.
wait to have a place to live reciprocally. To plant a garden and feed my family. I'll be there with you. A lifetime to lose. I hope to refuse. I'll be there with you. I can't help but fear the pain is here intrinsically. To change the seasons and freeze my nursery. I'll be there with you. A lifetime to lose. I hope to refuse. I'll be there with you. Thank you.
That was awesome. Clap for them louder. They did so good. Clap louder. Awesome. Thank you so much, Good Color, for your performance. It was like both of the Wade and Good Color songs just let me be calm. I'm a mother to 3.5 children, and so that was really nice to just sit and bask in the music. So I really appreciate that. Oh, I left my phone down there. But dinner's coming up, by the way. Not quite next, but pretty soon next. Before we get to that, I do want to introduce first, we're going to introduce a couple of groups of people to you. The first group is the Graduate Student Council, right? Or do we have members of the Grad Student Council here? If you're here, stand up, my friends. Be honored, be noticed. There they are, your Grad Student Council. There's a representative on this council from every college. And there are people that you can complain to about stuff. Just like your USUSA council you just voted in, they're the ones you complain to. That's who it is. Stand up again so they can see you all again. Stand up. Clap for them again. There we go. Okay, go ahead, Mikey.
Okay, the next committee that we want to acknowledge and recognize is the Mental Health Week, or Mental Health Committee. If you want to come forward, we're going to have Neonta say a couple of words.
You got to come all the way up here.
All the way to the
Mental
front.
Health
Let's
Week
give them a round of
Planning
applause.
Committee. All of you. All the way up. Come on, come on. Who do we got?
Couple over here.
There they are. Here, I'll give her my microphone. Here, Neonta.
Well, first of all, thank you all so much for being here. This would not have been possible without you. So a big round of applause for you.
Yay!
Second, I really want to express my gratitude to our wonderful MCs who agreed to do this pretty last minute, and they're doing a fantastic job, so I want to give them another round of applause. Thank you, Pri. Thank you, Mikey. And these are the wonderful people who just did such an amazing job putting this together, and it would not have been possible without them. So thank you guys, and I also want to give a special shout out to Jess, who is our advisor, and she's been a rock star. She's the best. So yeah, last round of applause, I promise. So for the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, who's hungry? Anybody hungry? We're gonna have some food. But first, we're gonna have Lauren come up with dining services to tell us a little bit about the meal. Before she comes up, I just want to say that at the bottom of all of your menus, there's a parking voucher. If you parked in the big blue Aggie Terrace, you can use that. Just hand them the voucher, and you'll get out for free. But we'll turn the time over to Lauren for a second.
Perfect. Hello. Tonight we have a wonderful lineup for you. We have some dinner rolls as well as a rice and lentil, then some fried eggplant, and a chicken and potato curry. We also have a dessert line with a bunch of donuts, and if you have any dietary, like with the vegetarian or vegan, we have a vegan curry off to the side if you just want to go through the line, get what you want, and then top that off with the curry at the end. My supervisor will come through and excuse tables, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Y'all, when you're done eating, do not leave this room. That beautiful Mental Health Week Council Committee has a great lineup of stuff for you after the food. We do not want any dine and dashers here. You're gonna miss out on all the wonderful stuff they've planned. And I know you just got back from spring break, you don't have that much homework, it's fine. Stick around, okay? Make sure you stay.
Birds do, bees do, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it. Let's run in splendor of your sex. Lithuanians, and let's do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam. Not to mention the thin folks in Siam. They were sized twins and Mars and people say in Boston, beans do. Let's do. Let's fall in love. Romantic scoundrels, they say. Oysters down in Oyster Bay. Let's fall in love.
andare. Oh, let's fly way up to the clouds, away from the maddening crowds. We can sing in the glow of a star that I know of, where lovers enjoy peace of mind. Let us leave the confusion and all disillusion behind. Just like birds of a feather, a rainbow together we'll find. Volare, oh, e cantare, oh. No wonder my happy heart sings. Your love has given me wings. Penso che io sogno così non ritorni mai più. Mi dipinge con le mani e la faccia di blu. Poi d'improvviso tenido dal vento rapito e incominciavo a volare nel cielo infinito. Volare, oh, oh, e cantare, oh, nel blu dipinto di blu. E che dici di stare lassù? E volavo, venice punalte del sole con coro più su. Mentre molto pian piano sparivo lontano laggiù. Una musica dolce suonare soltanto per me. Volare, oh, oh, e cantare, oh, oh. No wonder my happy heart sings. Your love has given me wings. Nel blu dipinto di blu, venite di stare lassù. Nel blu dipinto di blu.
Once I was a sentimental thing. Through my heart away each spring. Now spring romance hasn't got a chance. Promised my first dance to winter. All I've got to show's a splinter for my little fling. Spring this year has got me feeling like a horse that never left the post. I'm music man. Staring out the sea. Spring can be.
Are we good?
Yes.
You feeling all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we can get for you?
No.
Okay.
And flowers, into them I'd like to drink my toe.
Okay, hello. Can I get everybody's attention? Okay. Hoping that you're enjoying your meal. Continue to eat. You're completely fine, but we're going to continue with the program. Our next speaker is going to be Nista Dubey. Nista's mission is to empower individuals to cultivate intentionality and purpose in their everyday lives. She creates informational content across various social media platforms around topics such as mindset development, introspective techniques, and tuning into one's inner self. And working one-on-one with individuals to reframe their thought patterns, Nista has helped her clients create transformations in their personal and professional lives. In her podcast, Rising, Nista showcases purpose-driven individuals and their stories on growth, career, spirituality, and more. She recently published her first poetry book, Beyond the Skin, on her personal self-discovery journey, and is now enjoying signing copies of her book at Barnes & Nobles across the country. In December, she gave her first TEDx talk on the topic of welcoming the unexpected and shared her journey in creating her purpose. She hopes to continue spreading her message of self-discovery to audiences across the globe. Let's give it up for Nista.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
And the clicker?
We'll get it going.
Yeah.
She says you can
Awesome. Thank you. What about the clicker?
Perfect. Okay, there we go.
Awesome. Thank you. So how's everyone doing tonight? I'm excited to be here. This is my first time coming out to Utah. I flew in today, so I'm really excited. Thank you to Neonti and Jessica for having me out here because I've been chatting with them for a few weeks. And I just think it's awesome that you guys have a mental health week because I don't know if we did this back in college. I went to Virginia Tech, graduated in 2020. So I'm going to be here talking about kind of my journey with finding what purpose means to me. And I think it's going to be really prevalent if a lot of you are in college are kind of trying to figure things out and what the next step is. And if you're confused on what that is, it's exactly where I was 2 years ago when I graduated. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So we're just going to be chatting today about what that journey was like. I want to keep this open, and I'm going to get you guys to maybe do a quick exercise before we go back to your dinner plates. I don't want to pull you guys from your meals too much, but I do want to get us kind of like grounded. I know we had a lot of music playing today. We had a lot of chatter, so we are going to just take a few moments to do a quick breathing exercise. And if you guys have never meditated, it's okay. All I want you guys to do is just go ahead wherever you are. If you want to close your eyes, get settled. You don't have to close your eyes if you're not comfortable. You can put your palms up or palms down, whatever feels comfortable. Awesome, you guys are doing great. And I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and let's just like take a deep breath in through your nose. I'm gonna do this with you guys. And do a long, deep exhale out through the mouth. We're going to do a second breath whenever you guys are ready. Long inhale through the nose. Long, deep exhale out through the mouth. Awesome. And we're going to do one last breath. And on this last breath, I want you guys to go ahead and set an intention for either tonight or the week. So an intention can be a goal, it can be an idea, it can be a concept. It can be something like, I want to be more present this week, or it can be something like, I want to do well on my exam tomorrow. Go ahead, and whatever that feeling is, I want you to breathe into that this time and really feel it in your body. And on a long exhale out, I want you guys to exhale anything that no longer serves you. So any energy, any thoughts that you guys no longer want to carry moving forward, just let it out, and you're safe to let it go. You guys are doing great. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back to the present, come back to this moment, and know that you can come back to this at any point that you guys need. So now that we're doing this, I want to quickly do another quick exercise. This one's going to be a little bit more fun. So when I count to 3, I want you guys to go ahead and introduce yourselves. So you're going to say, I am, and your name. So for me, I would say, I am Nista. Ready? On a count to 3, I want you guys to do that and notice how it feels. 1, 2, 3. Love it. That feels silly, it feels funny, but I want you guys to go ahead and turn to the person next to you and get their name. So if you don't already know them, go ahead and introduce yourselves to them. And if there's no one sitting next to you, just make up a name. But when I count to 3, I want you guys to go ahead and introduce yourself with this person's name. So you're going to say, I am, and then say the person's name of whoever's sitting next to you, or make up a name. So 1, 2, 3. How did that feel to you guys? I hear a lot more laughter, a lot of different shifts in energy. I want you guys to answer. If someone would raise their hand, how did that feel the second time around that you said it? What was the feeling like in like one word? What was that? Did it feel weird? Like, awkward. There you go, awkward. So your where did you feel that in your body when it felt awkward? Was it like more in your head, or was it like physiological? Do you know where in your body you can pinpoint that like feeling? Was it like in your chest? Okay. I love it. So right now what you guys all just did, because I heard a lot more laughter when we introduced ourselves with a different name, right? Because this isn't congruent to us. This isn't something that we know to be the truth. And your body can pick up on that like before anything else. So how many of us have had a gut feeling about something, like a relationship, a friendship, and you've just known something was off? I want you guys to know that that's something that you have always had until this moment, and you will always have moving forward. That is literally your intuition. So when it comes to school, when it comes to figuring out what you want to do, sometimes you can even feel that congruency when it comes to your purpose. So for me, in my journey, growing up, knew that I always wanted to be a speaker. I knew that I always wanted to be on stages, speaking about purpose, about mindset, about spirituality, but I didn't know where to begin. School never really set me up for that. It always kind of put me into boxes. So of course, when I got to college, I thought, what other option to pursue than psychology and neuroscience, right? Because it's human behavior, it's kind of in line with what I want to do, and that's the only thing that would make sense. So I went to college and I majored in psych and neuroscience at Virginia Tech. I enjoyed my 4 years in my classes, but I remember always feeling unfulfilled. And all of my friends were, on the pre-health track. They were going into academia or grad school with their neuropsych degrees, and I didn't know how to be a speaker with a psych degree. So I remember just internalizing this identity of feeling so inconsistent and feeling so beat up and wondering how my friends would do so well in all their classes and maintain their 4.0 letter grades when for me, I couldn't even get myself to get up and actually go to class. I remember I actually withdrew from my freshman year bio class because I was just in such a bad mental state in my life where every single day was so hard for me, and I didn't know how to fulfill my purpose. I don't even think that's a question that I asked myself my freshman year of college. So I'm curious, I want to get an idea of who's in the room. How many of us are freshmen with a raise of hands? Awesome. How about sophomores? And what about juniors? Okay, so we have some more. And then seniors? Awesome. Any super seniors, grad students, PhD students? Oh my gosh, okay. Cool. So back in freshman year, I didn't really know where to start. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't know how to make it happen. And I remember going up until my junior year when my friends were, talk about applying to jobs and applying to internships, and I didn't know where to apply to. it didn't make sense to me. So a lot of my business major friends told me to start applying to consulting jobs or sales jobs because they were like, oh, you're a psych major. It's going to just make sense and it's going to fall into place. So that's what I started doing. I started putting myself into another bucket that wasn't aligned with me. It wasn't aligned with my body, but it just made sense on paper. And I went on to applying to all of these tech jobs, all of these consulting jobs. I had a tech internship the summer after my junior year, which I honestly really disliked, but I convinced myself I loved. And when I would tell my friends about it, I would really hype it up, but I wouldn't get excited to actually show up to class. So I remember applying to one of these jobs for a full-time position, and the company actually came to our university for like a banquet. So it was the networking event. We had, the head of sales there. They were giving us a presentation on why we should work there, basically winning us over. And I remember the head of sales said this statement so vividly, and I can't ever forget it, because that feeling that you guys just felt in your bodies when you introduced yourself with a different name is literally what I felt to my bones when he said that one of his employees left to pursue his dreams and still doesn't have a job today. And I just sat there wondering how someone could proudly say that about someone leaving their company, and how they would want to say that in a way of almost like mocking the employee who left to go pursue his dreams. And I remember to my gut feeling, there's no way that I could work here. There's no way I could work under someone who is joking about someone going after what they want to do. And then the weeks following, of course, I ignored this feeling. I still went back to my rational mind, and I went back to trying to convince myself that that would be the right position for me, that I would be happy in this job. And of course, soon enough, the super day came around. I went on campus. I was in the 3rd round interview. And I remember eating lunch with a lot of the senior staff members. And one of the senior staff members actually said, it's important to like your coworkers because work is going to be 80% of your life. And I remember sitting there thinking, sure, traditionally, if I did do a 40-hour work week, it might be. But it didn't align with me, and it didn't align with my body, which goes back to intuition. I just knew that the job wasn't right for me. I knew that the role wasn't right for me, but I couldn't get myself to actually admit it to myself. So I went on the following weeks thinking that this is what I was going to do after college. The pandemic hit, and I remember getting a call the day before all of the classes switched to the online format with an offer to work at this company. And everything in my body was telling me no. And I couldn't get myself to give an answer when they called me with the offer. So I went on the following days really trying to ask myself, what is it that I want to do? What is it that keeps coming back to me? And I thought back to all of the times when I was a child and I went to career day, and I would get so excited to dress up as a speaker or teach people or talk to people. And it just didn't make sense how it would all fit together, but it kept coming back. I remember doing debate in high school and being complimented on my speaking skills. I remember giving presentations at family events or potlucks or my friends' Sweet 16s and having parents come up to me at internship presentations and etc. So I want you guys to ask yourself, what are patterns that keep coming back to you? There might be certain things that you gravitate towards that might not rationally make sense, but they keep finding you in certain ways. It can be hobbies, it can be passions, it can be a certain type of genre or music or books that keep coming back to you, but ask yourself what that is. And even if you guys want to take screenshots of these slides, like photos, or write them down as journaling prompts, I want these to be resources that you guys have to look back at later after this talk, because I don't want this to be a 40-minute presentation of me talking. I want you guys to go home and feel empowered and begin to ask yourselves these questions, which might kind of be uncomfortable at first. Another one that I didn't ask myself for my entirety of my 4 years of college is, what does success look like to me? The reason I was so upset my freshman year and I was in such a low mental state is because I was measuring myself up to benchmarks in a system that just wasn't aligned with me. I was creating metrics for what success meant for my external world. I had never sat down and actually listed out what a successful life would look like, spiritually or financially or mentally. I never asked myself if success meant freedom, or if it meant peace, if it meant abundance. So I sat down and I started answering these questions. And again, I want this to be something you guys think about in this moment. What does success look like for you? And if it's money right now, that's okay. I don't want you guys to judge your answer. I just want you to answer honestly. So after sitting down and being honest and asking myself this question, I got to work. And it was the spring semester of my senior year of college where I sat down and I said, let me just start a YouTube channel, because success for me looks like traveling, it looks like financial freedom, it looks like making content and making an impact. And that YouTube channel went on to Instagram Lives, and it went on to TikTok, and it went on to podcasting. And I noticed that every single time I stepped out of my comfort zone and I did something that wasn't entirely easy for me to just get up and do, which is something that I'm doing right now too, the universe would always come back to me with some kind of an opportunity. Even if that was as small as an opportunity to be on a podcast, or if that was a collaboration or an invitation to another speaking event, it would always come back to me every time I left it. So I want you guys to ask yourself, is there a zone of comfort that you're not exiting at the moment and that you're staying in willingly time and time again? What would it look like to leave that zone, and what would it take for you to do that? These aren't questions for you to answer and judge yourself. They're just questions for you to answer and just be honest. This is something that really helped me. Some of you might be familiar with it. It's the Japanese concept of the reason for being. So ikigai is the idea that it's the intersection of what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, and then what you can be paid for. And it's interesting because when you actually sit down and start filling this out, you will notice how small of a gap you can fill and still monetize off of and be successful. So I love the example of glamnetics. So literally something as simple as making false lashes magnetic. The CEO of that ended up on Forbes 30 Under 30. And I believe there's also someone who makes courses on Teachable on how to raise baby goats who make 6 figures. So I don't want to hear any excuses for why you guys can't make a 6-figure income off of some kind of an online business or online venture. And I think that we're just so fortunate to live in a world of having social media really at the access of our fingertips, because you can take something as small as a picture, a screenshot, an Instagram Live, and really expand it into an empire. So again, if you guys want to take your phones out and take a photo of this, have this kind of as a resource that you keep in your pocket, this is something that really, really helped me. Now, self-love, I think there's a lot of romanticized content out in the world on what self-love is. And of course, it's awesome to treat yourself to spas and shopping sprees and bubble baths. But at the end of the day, I think self-love is being brutally honest with yourself, and also being able to shed layers of your identity that maybe you were never ready to let go of. So for me, self-love was sitting down with myself senior year and understanding that I didn't want the consulting job, and being honest with myself that that's just not where I saw myself going. It was starting from scratch and building anew. So starting the YouTube channel, starting the TikTok, putting my face out on social media after leaving college and not really maintaining connections with anyone from there to start fresh was really freaking scary. Like, it wasn't easy. It wasn't what anyone would conventionally think of when they think of the concept of self-love, but it was me honoring myself and honoring my purpose and what I felt myself leaning into beyond anything else. So I think self-love, a lot of it has to do with letting go. Are you guys ready to release parts of yourself that you know you no longer want to carry and move forward with? Because that's going to be harder to do than anything else, but that's also the ultimate way, in my opinion, to be able to call in more energy, fresh energy, and be able to honestly put yourself into a new identity, the one that you want to move forward with in this world. So with that, how do you want to start showing up? There are little things that you can do every single day to start showing up differently. This can be as small as a meditation practice, or finally starting that online business that you've been thinking about for so long, or something as simple as observing and changing one single behavior in yourself that you've noticed over time. But if it were guaranteed to you that that ideal version of yourself exists in this world, how would you do things differently today? And how different does that look from your current reality? So I think another thing that I just want to close off with before we start having conversations and carrying on with for the rest of our night is it's not about finding your purpose. I think there's such an overwhelming notion of seeking your purpose and going about chasing it and finding it. But I think it's about leaning into what excites you in this moment. And with that, the answers are going to fall into place. You don't have to put pressure on yourself or pressure on anyone else for giving you those answers, because you make them in every moment. So I want you guys to remember, leaving the room today, it's not about finding it, it's about creating it, and you have that power in you at this very moment, and it all goes back to your intuition and those honest conversations with yourself. So I want to thank you guys for having me today and allowing me to be here. If you guys do want to reach out to me, these are my forms of contact. Feel free to chat with me. I'll be here for the end of the night. If you guys have questions for me right now on stage, happy to answer them. But I appreciate you guys being here and welcoming me, so thank you so much.
Okay, wait, before you go, because you said does anyone have questions, does anyone have any questions or anything they'd like to ask? Of course you do.
Well, will you put the diagram back up on the screen
Yes,
so we can take a picture
absolutely.
of it? Thanks.
Yes, take your pictures, take out your phones.
I can power
That was a game changer for me.
Yeah. Other questions or things that you'd like to ask before we say a final goodbye? That's dramatic. Double checking.
Awesome.
Okay. Oh, we got it. Mionta.
So, well, first of all, thank you so much for being here, Nisa.
Thank you.
I am curious to know, how do you balance mental health care and all the amazing work that you do? Is it a combination of, like, do you have to set aside time for mental health care? And or would you say, like, the kind of work that you do also brings you joy and is, in a way, you know, a form of self-care?
I love that question because honestly, for the longest time, it really was the latter. It was me thinking, oh, I love what I do so much that when I just show up, it's me honoring myself and it's me taking care of my mental health, because I was so happy with like making content and writing it and fleshing out all these ideas, until I realized that at the end of the day was still work. It was still me putting things out in the world, figuring out ways to monetize, figuring out how people were perceiving me. So it really came down to actually having to set aside time and being like, girl, you need a journal and meditate and completely disassociate yourself from what other people could possibly say about you, what feedback they have to give you. Because at the end of the day, I didn't want to be tethered to people's opinions of me if I was going to actually sit down and take care of my mental health. And it took me a long time to realize that for so long I was doing that. So yeah, it really comes down to setting aside a few minutes a day for journaling. And I think that these are habits that are so easy. I had a guest I did a podcast with. His name was Bijan Pusti. You guys might have seen him on TikTok. He's popping on TikTok. But he said it's so much easier to not do these things than actually sit down and do them. And so I think it's that discipline, which is another form of self-love that I had a conversation about with some of my friends. I heard that discipline is actually one of the most, utmost forms of self-love, because you're sitting down and you're kind of withstanding short-term discomfort for long-term results. And oftentimes we do the opposite. So creating that discipline, whether that's reading 5 minutes before bed every night, whether that's sitting down and writing a line in your journal. It doesn't have to be crazy. Something I always reference back to is Atomic Habits, with just sitting down and trying to read 1 page of a book per day, even if it's not the 5 minutes. So yeah, for me, it's also giving myself grace when I don't do those things. So if they don't happen, not beating myself up, because I know my body's not a machine, and knowing that I can still come back to it. And I'm not gonna lie, that entire balance takes a lot of time to really build and really cultivate. So patience beyond everything else as that process is happening. And it's going to be different for everyone. So having that recognition, I think, is important.
Fantastic, thank you. Last call for questions. Oh, no, that was a head scratch. I'm trained to watch every subtle movement and see if that person has something to say. Okay, thank you so much. Let's give her another round of applause. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. All right, friends. I just got like 4 new things. We'll put this down here. There's that one. Okay, so we have got 2 more musical numbers for you and our final speaker for the evening. So our next musical number, I get to click to who that is. Maybe go. Oh, you did it. Did you touch it? Oh, there, no, it's that one. Oh my goodness, what a logo. That's great. All right, our next musical number, is Raspberry Protocol, and they're gonna give us some acoustic music. So we have Kiwi and Sean from Raspberry Protocol, and they create an acoustic duo that can draw and keep the attention of a large group with just a few notes of their favorite songs. They have been captivating audiences for years and will create an environment that you don't want to miss. So wherever these lovely people are, come on down. Oh, they're right there, right in front. Come on, Sean, come on, Kiwi. Welcome, that's good, great welcome. Great job. Do you all have to set anything up? Just plug in? Do we have stools? But a chair won't work, will it? Do you want a chair or do you want to stand? It was a no to the chairs, but thanks for offering.
Hello? Hello. So, hello everybody. Thank you for coming out. We are Raspberry Protocol, like you all know. We're a little bit downsized today. We're usually a 4-piece band, but we're just doing a little acoustic thing for you guys because this is something we believe in, and a lot of our music is actually written on heavier topics. So this is something that we love doing. So.
I'm short. All right. I'm Kiwi. How's everybody doing? We're really excited to be here. Thank you for having us. This first song, you guys might recognize it. We're gonna do Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen. A little bit slower. Check my look in the mirror. Wanna change my clothes, my hair, my face. Man, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just living in a dump like this. dancing in the dark. Thank you. Oh, I got the jittery nerves in my body. I gotta just like relax. Okay. Thank you guys. All right. Whew. I don't know, I'm so nervous. Okay, thank you. Okay, this last song we're gonna play for you guys, it's an original song and we're hoping it's gonna be on our next album that we're gonna record this summer. So, yeah, this song's called Maybe Tomorrow, and I wrote this in 2020. And I kind of think of it as my like optimistic, hopeful kind of song. And I kind of tend to write really depressing music. So, yeah, I think this is my like optimistic song. So.
to express that to you. Sometimes it feels like I'm floating in space. Why is this so hard for me? I know they're fake, but I still feel so loving. Why do they take advantage of me? Why can't I think straight?
tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, maybe tomorrow.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Are we good to unplug?
We're good.
All right, thank you, Raspberry Protocol. Let's give them another round of applause. Woo! That was great. Appreciate you both. Okay, we have, like Cree said, we have one more musical act, but before that we have another speaker. And right now we're going to be hearing from Emily Fishburne. Emily is the Senior Prevention Specialist in the Office of Equity at Utah State University. In her role, she coordinates sexual misconduct and discrimination prevention efforts for faculty, staff, and students at all 32 USU campuses. She has her Master of Public Health degree in Professional Health Education and is a Certified Health Education Specialist. Emily has been providing education about healthy sexuality, bystander intervention, and sexual misconduct prevention to various populations for over 7 years. Let's give it up for Emily.
Okay, awesome. Well, hi everybody. It's always weird to see my big picture up on the screen before I come on. So I'm excited to be here with y'all tonight. Like my bio said, I work in the Office of Equity here at the university. Part of my role is to make sure we're creating environments where students, faculty, and staff can be really successful. One of the things that I've been asked to talk to y'all a little bit about is stories, right? Because the reality is that we've been doing a lot of storytelling tonight. As a speaker, I tell stories, and one of the big things that I've been asked to tell y'all a little bit about is the stories that our brains make up without us even realizing that they're making them up, AKA what the research literature calls implicit biases. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that concept. It might be familiar to some of you, and we're gonna talk about how we can actually build supportive environments by understanding what implicit biases are and breaking them down and working on them. So this is going to be interactive for those of you who are willing to make it. So have your cell phones nearby. We're going to be doing some activities with your phones. Okay, so in our conversation tonight, definitely want to encourage y'all to embrace the concept of creating a brave space. One of the things that can be really challenging about implicit biases is they really tell a story, or at least we think they tell a story about who we are as human beings. And sometimes we don't really like the story that is being told by our brains. So what I want to encourage y'all to really do is to pay attention to what's coming up for you tonight, but also be willing to lean into that and embrace that. So I want to start off by telling a little bit of a story about myself and my family. So I'm going to take you all back to senior year of high school. It's a Labor Day weekend. Really looking forward to having some fun with some friends, right? It's senior year. You're really looking forward to it being your last year of high school. And I get a call from someone in my family saying that we needed to go to the hospital because a family member had had a mental health breakdown. And at that time, it really was unexpected. It wasn't something that we knew was coming. And so show up at the hospital to support this family member, and it was just such a weird experience, y'all. It's weird to have someone that you care about, that you spend a lot of time with, be in such a vulnerable and quite frankly broken position. What I want to ask y'all to do is to pause and think about what elements of that story your brain was filling in for you. Which of my family members did your brain think had this mental health breakdown? What do you think contributed to that? What kind of story was your brain telling as I was telling you that story, right? That is what implicit biases are in a nutshell, is they fill in the parts of stories that we don't necessarily understand. And our brain just does that automatically for us. There's not a lot that we can necessarily do to stop it. But what we can do is change what we do about those implicit biases when they are presented to us. So we're going to attempt to talk about that in the rest of our conversation this evening. So I'm going to have you all pull out your phones. Hopefully our poll everywhere is going to activate, but it might not. Jess, do you know if it's going to work? Okay, it's okay if it won't. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to do it old school style. We're going to have y'all think about the stereotypes that people have about mental health. Okay, so take 15 seconds. When you think about mental health, what are some of the things that come to mind for you? Good, maybe not so good. Okay, so typically when we do this activity, there's a lot of not so great things that end up filling in our word cloud up on the screen, right? Things like people who are unstable, maybe they're unhealthy, maybe they're scary, right? What I want to challenge you all to do in the rest of our conversation tonight is to think differently, because the reality is that all of us at some point in our lifetimes have experiences related to mental health that may not be super positive. Right? And that's a normal part of being a human being in today's society. It's also, quite frankly, an uncomfortable part of being a human being in today's society, right? A lot of us don't want to admit that we have times where we struggle or where we get down or where we're not doing so great. But that's human, my friends. And so something that we're really going to talk about the rest of this evening is how do we actually cultivate empathy for people when they're having experiences that we maybe don't entirely understand. Okay, so we're going to attempt to play a video. I'm hoping that this one will actually go through. Maybe not, though. Y'all, I'm used to doing these kinds of presentations in a classroom where you have a lot more control over the technology. Okay, will you click play on the video for me, friends in the back? We're going to see if this will work. Okay, so we're not getting any sound.
Went somewhat mainstream.
Yeah, so when Hillary Clinton mentioned implicit bias in the debates, our phones started blowing up, all our friends started emailing us about it.
But what is implicit bias? Implicit biases are basically thought processes that happen without you even knowing it. Little mental shortcuts that hold judgments you might not agree with. And sometimes those shortcuts are based on race. First, some clarity. Saying someone has an implicit bias is different from calling someone a racist.
The word racist is a highly loaded term, right, here in American society. A lot of times, when people are using it, they're thinking of the kind of old-fashioned Ku Klux Klan style racist.
But implicit bias isn't anywhere near that, explicit.
Implicit bias is something that comes out of ordinary mental functioning, out of how the mind normally works.
We've all grown up in a culture with media images, news images, conversations we heard at home, our education. Think of that as a fog we've been breathing our whole life. We never even realized it, what we were taking in.
And that fog causes associations that lead to biases.
I somehow know that if you say peanut butter, I'm going to say jelly. That's an association that's been ingrained in me because throughout my life, peanut butter and jelly are together. And in many forms of media, there's an overrepresentation of black men and violent crime being paired together.
And because of that, I actually deep down inside have been taught that black men are violent and aggressive and not to be trusted, that they're criminals, that they're thugs.
With all those associations, I'm not trying to let us off the hook, but in some ways, none of us stood a chance.
Starting today, we'll
right,
post
y'all
a
can
video
pause
a
the
day
video.
dealing with one challenge of understanding implicit bias.
And move me on to the next slide, because I don't think I can do that from up here. All right, y'all. So what I love about that video is really the concept that implicit biases are a fog that we are breathing in. Oh, so... Yep, there we go. Perfect. So they are part of our brains that we're just not even aware of are there most of the time, my friends, which for some of us, especially if this is the first time you're hearing about this concept, could feel a little scary. And I fully acknowledge that, right? What's important for us to keep in mind is that it is possible for us to chip away at the part of the iceberg that sits below the surface, what we like to call those implicit biases in our brains. Okay? At the top of the iceberg is the part of our biases or our assumptions that we make about other people that we're aware of, okay? So y'all give your, I teach this all the time. Let me give you a basic example. I am someone that has a bias against people who eat cake. Okay, I just don't like cake. I think that people who like cake are kind of weird and a little bit silly, right? Now, that is not necessarily a bias that all of you share with me, and that's totally fine, right? But that is a conscious bias that I am very well aware of as existing in my brain. And so when I see people eating cake, I have to take a step back and be like, Emily, it's okay, they're allowed to eat cake, right? So we can have implicit biases about things as silly as dessert preferences, but as serious as things like people's race or their religion or their ethnicity or their disability, right? And it's those identities, those core identities that make up who people are, and maybe someone's preference for cake is a core identity. I'm not going to judge that, right? But when we're thinking about those core identities that really influence who we are as people, that's where becoming more aware of these assumptions that we have about others becomes so important and so essential. Now, there's a lot of reasons why we rely on implicit biases. I'm not here to give you the full lecture about why it is. But what I think is really important for y'all to keep in mind is that they're shortcuts, right? So they're easy ways that our brain chooses to go through life. And a lot of the times we end up following them because that's what is a shortcut, right? It makes things easier for us. Again, implicit biases are the parts of our brains that are telling stories that make the brain feel really good because it's really easy to believe the stories that implicit biases are and they tell. So what the research literature tells us is that implicit biases, they're nice because they make things short and they make things fast, right? There's a lot more research data out there we could dig into, but I'm not going to tonight. Essentially, what is key for us to keep in mind is that they pop up when we're least expecting them to, and they really do influence what we choose to do next. So there's a 4-step process that I want to encourage y'all to really think about going through as you move forward with the rest of this week in terms of embracing the programming that's going on for Mental Health Week, but just in your daily lives as you go forward. And this 4-step process was actually developed by someone at Utah State, Dr. Rebecca Walton, in the English department at the university. She calls it the 4 R's. It's a fantastic framework for thinking about how implicit biases work. So I'm actually going to talk y'all through an exercise for step 1, recognition. So get yourselves ready. I'm going to flash a series of images up on the screen, and what I'm going to ask y'all to do is to just think about what immediately comes to mind for you as these images come up, okay? So stereotypes, assumptions, whatever it might be, just pay attention to those, okay? Ready? Image 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And 9. Okay? Probably for most of us, there were a lot of different things that came up at different points throughout that exercise, right? That is one small way to check into the stories that your brain is telling you, the implicit biases that you have about people, those snap judgments that you're making about them. Because at the end of the day, that really is what implicit biases come down to. They're snap judgments about someone or something that then influence how we go about interacting with them. And so as a result, they really can have an influence on us and on how we interact and engage with other people. Step 2 in your 4-step process is going through the process of revealing. Again, since our polling is not working tonight, that's okay. What I want to encourage y'all to think about is what is actually the impact of implicit biases on people's mental health and well-being? Again, typically when I do this presentation, we're actually going to get to do this one. All right, then I will not spoil it. My friends, for those of you who have used Poll Everywhere before, I'm going to encourage you to participate with us. We're going to do this activity just real quick. So text Utah State Uni 699 to 37607 if you are willing to participate. And what I want to have you write in, we're going to form a word cloud. What I want you to write in is, what is the impact of implicit biases on mental health? Okay, so thinking about those snap judgments, how do those influence people's mental health? You do not, proper spelling, grammar, does not matter. Just get it in there. Oh, to join? No, it does not have to be capitalized to join. Thank you, tech people. You're very kind. All right, y'all. So again, if we're thinking about those snap judgments that you were making as you were looking at those 9 images that came up on the screen, If you were to say those out loud to those people, what might be the impact on them? Is it going through? All right, friends. Technology is not always our friends. Is it working? They're just not displaying? Okay. That is all right. So the answer to this question, typically also not such a positive one, right? If we're thinking about those snap judgments that we were making as we were looking at those images of people, if we were to say them out loud to those individuals, typically it ends up not being such a positive impact on them, right? When we think about the judgments and the stereotypes and the attitudes that we might have about others that aren't so positive, that can have a direct impact on their mental health and well-being. Tech friends, will you take me back to my presentation slides, please? Tried to get too high-tech for y'all this evening. It's okay. Ballroom's just not built for this kind of interaction. Okay. Step 3, my friends. Stacked like David from Schitt's Creek and just reject them, right? Okay, so when your brain presents something to you, a judgment, a stereotype, a negative attitude about another person, you say, no, thank you, brain. I appreciate what you're trying to do here, appreciate the storytelling you're trying to do. I'm not gonna go with it, right? I'm gonna make a different choice, I'm gonna do something different, right? And at the end of the day, if we are choosing to do that step 3, then we find ourselves in a space where we have the chance to replace those stories, where we have the chance to retrain our brain to say, hey brain, there's a different way of thinking about this person or a different way of thinking about this particular situation. So that really is the challenge for y'all as you go forward. I know that this particular presentation is a little bit different than what else has been going on in this Come Together Festival this evening, right? But I really want to encourage y'all to do is to think about if we were to come together, right, collectively as a society, and we were willing to acknowledge that, hey, our brain tells us these stories, and that doesn't make us a bad person, it just makes us a human with a brain, and we were really willing to say, my brain tells me stories about things that I wish it didn't, but that's what it does. We could create a culture where people really are coming together, where we're able to become more conscious of how our brains operate, and able to get to a place where mental health, amongst many other things within society, is not something that has a lot of shame or stigma or blame or guilt that's associated with it, but something that is accepted as normal within society, right? Something that is embraced and something that is encouraged that we have conversations about. And that's really my hope as someone who does this kind of work at Utah State, is to be able to cultivate that kind of environment. And each of you who is with us here tonight, for those of you who are members of the university community, you really do have that opportunity to make that true here at Utah State as well. So thank you all so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of Mental Health Week. And for those of you who are students here at the university, you will probably see me and my team around sometime again real soon. So thanks, y'all.
Emily, there you are. I need that clicker. Yes. I'm a big fan of Emily. She's amazing. I didn't even know she had this talk. So Emily, you're going to come to my classes in the spring, or it is spring, in the fall. Okay, those of you that are trying to be sneaky and leaving, we're almost done. Just sing out. Listen to the last person. I know you don't go to bed at 8 o'clock. I know it. Because I get emails from you at like 1 a.m. I know you're not going to bed. Stick around. We have our last number. Before we introduce this, and it's sweet, man, it's gonna be a dance. Do I need to move stuff? A dance performance. We wanted to say, let me go to them. I can't do it. You do it. Before we introduce Decipher, Mikey and I thought we should probably do the outline of the events for the rest of the week, so that we have them and you're ready to go and you know what you want to attend and what you have time to go to. So go ahead. Do you have it pulled up already?
Yeah.
These are at mhw@usu.edu.
You can find it on the program too. It has the URL.
Okay, go ahead.
We went over Tuesday and Wednesday. So Thursday, there is going from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the TSC lounges is Act for a Meaningful Life event. And then from 11:30 to 12:30 is the Student Leadership and Mental Health activity, and that's also in the TSC lounges. Like Cree mentioned earlier, all of these will be on Zoom too, so you'll be able to see them there. And then from 1 to 2:30 in the TSC lounges is a faculty and administrative leadership and mental health activity. I can speak also.
I should go to that.
Yeah, that one sounds
That makes sense, right?
pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Faculty. That makes sense a little bit. Mental health and veterinary medicine activity from 3 to 4 in the TSC lounge. That one's exciting. Then from 3 to 5 p.m. there's a therapy zoo on the quad.
Oh, this one will be well attended.
That one will be well attended. All of you should make an effort to go. That sounds fun. From 5:30 to 6:30, there's an addiction and mental health resources climate activity, and that is in TSC 335.
Upstairs.
And then the last event for the night is succulent and paint, which is from 7 to 8 in the TSC ballroom, so right here.
Adopt a succulent. That sounds so pleasant. Okay, on Friday, holy cow, you all, I'm just amazed. On Friday, we have Fat Yoga with Tea. That's happening in the Hyper from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., so you might have to get up a little early to go to that one. But I believe in you. The next one is from 9 to 11, and it's called Safe Passages for You Workshop, which is is on Zoom and broadcasted. Then from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. on Friday is Navigating the World as Differently Abled, and this is happening in the Education Building. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Better Sleep, Better You. That's I'm like bashing all my students. Mikey was one of my students.
I was, back in the day.
Back in the day. And then on Friday night, there's an open mic from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the TSC Hub, and people are presenting music, poetry, comedy, all that fun stuff.
I'm actually amazed by the quantity of events, and based on this one, I'm pretty sure they're going to be high quality also. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Saturday, there's a couple events too. From 12 to 3 on the quad is a suicide prevention walk. And then at the same time as that's going on, there's a wellness fair going on the quad. So be sure to make it out to each of these events if you have time. Also, go check out the website and read a little bit more about what each of these events will provide.
Yeah, and at the very least, while you're eating your lunch, just click on it and watch that while you're eventing. Okay, our last group, they are ready. I see them. They're ready to come. Like, when are they going to stop talking? Our last event is Decipher, a dance performance group. They are a dance cover group from here in the Valley. They have performed for a handful of events at USU. They specialize in hip-hop and K-pop dance covers. Today, or tonight, the song to which they will perform is Pretty Savage by the Korean all-girl band Blackpink. The song celebrates boldness and confidence. So give it up for Decipher. You never know how these are going to go.
우린 뼛속까지 다름 아이 창피하다가도 멍석 깔면 바름 Born skinny chick 앞만 살쪄도 난 마름 계산은 느려도 눈치는 빠름 인기를 논하자면 안에 입만 아픔 Off boys not my boys 싹둑싹둑 자름 우리 이름 들린다면 뚜루뚜루 맞음 Drip drip I sit up bust it down top to the bottom 검은색 분홍빛 Show up in it, make it lit like Yeah, with some savage you can have a story 어려운 걸 해내줘 우리 예쁘장한 savage with some 예쁘장한 savage You better run, run, run You better run, run, run All my diamonds stay yellow, oh, bright, bright Get 'em blind, can't find me, I'm out of sight If you mad, stay mad, we not alike S-A-V-A-D, keep it pretty, pretty savage
비슷한 걸 걸쳤지만 자태부터 다름 짠하고 나타나면 카펫부터 가름 Black 했다 pink 했다 내 맘대로 바꿈 네
원하면 보여줄게 attitude 굳이 말 안 해도 다 알잖아 You know So pretty, 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 pretty So pretty, 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 pretty
Thank you so much. Hey, go this way, go this way, go this way. Go this way, you have a prize. I forgot to mention, I'm gonna be very not dainty about this. All the performers that performed and the speakers performed free of charge, kind of in sponsorship of Mental Health Week, which I think is awesome. So let's applaud them for that, for showing up and showing out for all of us. And what do you have to say? You have something to say.
Just thank you for coming. We really appreciate you and the support that you've showed to the university and the Mental Health Committee. They worked very, very hard on this event, and there was extremely great speakers and quality performances, so we appreciate you coming also.
Grab one of the full cups to drink on your way out. Bye!
Yes. Have a good one.
Thanks for being here.
As the nighttime bleeds into the day, tomorrow spills across the sky, and the suns are harsh. Reminder why we are feeling barely human. We don't know what's good for us, 'cause if we did, we might not do it. Who knows where our limits lie? We won't discover till we push it. I should just walk away, but it grips me, but I should call it a day and make my way, oh it grips me, 'cause the devil's got my arms and it pulls me back into the night, but I should just walk away, oh it grips me, 'cause the devil's got my arms. We got drunk on this unholy wine to deliver us from our own minds. The promise of a better time till we're feeling barely human. We don't know what's good for us, 'cause if we did, we might not do it. Who knows where our limits lie? We won't discover till we push it, 'cause the devil's got my into the night, but I should just walk away.